top of the morning to you. Thank you for joining us this great Friday morning, the 21st day in the month of August 2026. It's a pleasure to be back again, and indeed, we're grateful for the gift of life. This is 89.3 FM, Wells Radio, your preferred wholesome radio, and your state's number one family radio station, broadcasting from Wells Broadcasting House along Alafi Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. Great morning to you, and thank you for joining us on Perspectives Unlimited, where we take you beyond the news and help you understand stories making the rounds in our nation for today. The major stories, actually. And of course, we'll bring that to you up and early, 6:30 a.m. on Mondays up until Fridays. And of course, on Saturday, the weekend edition will come up to you by 8 a.m. on this great radio dial. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. I hope that you're doing great, and I pray that all that concerns you will indeed go well as planned for you by God for today. Remember that, God indeed is the maker of all things. You cannot fast track anything. And of course, those who have, done the business of fast tracking in time past can indeed share their own part of the story and how bitter it eventually ends. So what I'm saying exactly is that you put your trust in God entirely. Put all of your trust in God. Continue to pray, continue to wait, and indeed someday answers will definitely come. Amen. Great morning to you once again. Let's begin the show this morning by taking you through the major stories for today. Right in the studio, we have The Punch, and also we have the Vanguard newspaper for this morning. Stay with us. Let's begin with the Vanguard for today, or The Punch, I beg your pardon. The Punch newspaper for this morning, the top story on page 9. UK warns citizens against travel to Borno, Yobe, 9 other states. Tinubu OPS kick against Atiku's petrol subsidy push. And on page 2, states get special 435 billion naira for security and infrastructure. 3 riders to the story. The first one says, Gov hails Tinubu for supporting state to tackle challenges. Gombe, Lagos, Ondo, Enugu lead beneficiaries of FAC Special Intervention Fund. And finally, with the riders, Special Intervention Fund meant for security, projects and roads. And today's sad story here on page 4 and 5. Over 46 bodies recovered in Sokoto boat accident. And finally, on the Punch, EFCC, ICPC summon NFF officials over 12 billion federal government funds. All right, away from that to the Vanguard, we have the Weekend there on page 19. And of course, this is a story that I remember that on this table and even on this platform of Perspectives Unlimited, we have discussed that a few times. Sad, bad state of police barracks. Officials leave with filth, leaks, and rodents. Have you seen the barrack of some of the policemen that stop you on the road? Then maybe that explains why some of them behave the way they do. Now to page 5, which is the major story of the Vanguard. The major story here, Christian killings. Why United States won't remove Nigeria's CPC tag, says Congressman Moore. He says the Nigeria government must protect Christian communities. We back United States over persecution, security crisis. Christian elders call for thorough investigation, persecution of perpetrators. Fuel subsidy battle. Tinubu Atiku battle, subsidy restoration, demonstrate ignorance and governance economy, says Tinubu. Another rider to the story says Atiku unveils new subsidy model in to target cap budget track every barrel. Oluwavori's 5th anniversary. It's about culture, homecoming, and empowerment, says Wilbert. And that's all we can take this morning on the front page of the show. We read to you from The Punch, and also we read to you from the Vanguard for today. Once again, we want to appreciate you and thank you for joining the show and for listening to the program Perspectives Unlimited. We're going to be here up until 7:30 and would like you to join us on this ride. Let's talk about Nigeria. Let's talk about our nation. And let's talk about how our nation, Nigeria, can be great and good for it today. Once again, you're welcome to the show. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. We'll take a break, and when we come back right after that, we dive straight into the conversation. Please stay with us.
Promote democracy, promotes stability, promotes rule of law. Don't stigmatize any of your opponent. Okay, let's look at the trajectory of the history. I saw one of my opponents now say he will go back to subsidy. I read it. That is demonstration of a serious ignorance on governance and economy. Before I came here, 27 states are unable to pay salaries. Not to even talk of pensioners, salary of workers. In your state, I know a man that raised, who is nicknamed half salary. They come to the federal, cap in hand, unable to do anything. The salary you pay feeds families. Where are the local governments? They are in the states. Where are the concentration of population? They are in the states. Take out the president. Regard every other person as common men. They have families to feed. The infrastructure you embark upon, on the road network, housing, school rehabilitation, hospital, healthcare pronouncements, resuscitation of healthcare, training of teachers, training of F workers to protect our vulnerable families is part of your responsibility. And the people of Osun State pronounce their judgment on you, that they love you, they want you to govern. So you're going back to govern. Anybody, any Democrat, anybody in the political environment who cannot celebrate the joy of free and fair election does not deserve the laughter and the happiness of democracy. Don't make a single individual a victim of your campaign. Don't. Not for you alone. Not for the sake of Osun alone. For the generations to come. It's more important for you to build a network of unities, unified tunes and everything. Like I said, you did not conquer anybody. You won election. That is the essence of democracy. I'm so
Yeah, that is why I'm here.
that
To thank Mr. President, the father of the nation, because he fought for this democracy. That is why he allowed free and fair election. And that is the result. That is why I'm here to say thank you for making sure that democracy lives in Nigeria. Okay?
All right. What a joy to start the day with the voice of your president. And of course, with so much assurance. Great morning to you once again. If you're just joining the show, Perspectives Unlimited is live on 89.3 FM. The story about the victory of the dancing Senator Ademola Adeleke is far from being over, as yesterday the senator, or the governor of Osun State, paid a courtesy visit to the president of the nation, and you just listen to him. He said he did that to thank the president for allowing democracy to thrive and also allowing free and fair election in Osun State. One major highlight of this week happened to us last night. It seemed like it's on a lighter note, but it reflects what we call honor and due respect in our nation, Nigeria. Yesterday, we saw the footage of a young lady at a graduate training program of a bank where she called the chairman by his first name. I'll talk about that at the end of the day. You know, when we are done with the show, at least after talking about some of the heated conversation, and then we use that to say our goodbyes on the show. Mr. Olaliko Sonny joins us in the studio this morning. Great morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. How have you been? It feels like I've not seen you in months.
Yeah, well, I remember I saw you last week. Not last week.
Oh, really?
You were not on. Yeah, you were not on seat last week. I mean, Friday.
Friday? No, I was.
It was your.
That was the previous week.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was the previous week.
In fact, I was even deluding myself.
That was the previous week. All right, good to see you again.
It is an honor to be here.
There's a lot to talk about, especially on Fridays like this. You just look at stories all over the place. Those that were developing on Monday must have grown wings on Friday. But we haven't seen since the victory of Senator Ademola Adeleke in Osun State. We've been getting different reaction from the Yaga Africa and the likes. And a good number of observers have described the election as a free and fair one. I'd like to have your thoughts on the victory of Ademola Adeleke. He was in Abuja last night to thank the president. I would think that the basis of the thank you is because of the unfreezing of the state account just a few days before the election. But he said he's coming to say thank you for allowing democracy to thrive and allowing free and fair election. And so aside from, do you think the election is free and fair? Do you think that the president's role in that election is a way of allowing democracy to thrive? And did he allow free and fair election indeed in Osun State? And finally, what is the future of politics in Osun when we want to count the number of people whose life, was cut short as a result of politics in the state? You definitely have a good number of people during the campaigns and all of that. What's the future of election in Osun State? That the president allow free and fair election indeed? And of course, your own reaction. Do you think that election is free and fair?
Thank you very much. I am a trained political scientist. I understand the nitty-gritty of politics, and I can tell you free and fair, free of charge, that the election was not free nor fair. An election where peace was scarce, if at all available at all, in my opinion, it didn't qualify as a free and fair election. In the build-up to the election, in fact, up to a day before the election, at least 50 people were killed. And that's 50 faces you will never see again. That's 50 dreams totally cut. That's 50 joys, 50 sadness. 50 lives wasted, all because someone wants to govern a state. I mean, that's not a free and fair election. People were arrested. A lot of people were thrown behind bars simply for saying that, okay, this is the guy I'm going to support, this is the guy I'm not going to support. I mean, that's not free, not fair. On the day of election, it was like a bazaar. And I should state here without ambiguity that it wasn't just a party that was buying votes. It was the two parties that actually did that, but one was paying more for votes than the other. So neither of the two, in my opinion, is totally innocent. So looking at all the
is this allegation of vote buying, because again, the one for the Accord Party took the center stage, I think yesterday, when the former governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo, referred to that one.
No, I am from that state. I may not be physically present there, but I talk to people in the state every day. And I can tell you free of charge once again that it wasn't even until the day of election that they started paying for votes. They had been paying for votes. Just show me your PVC, take 10K. Show me your PVC, take 15K. That had been happening at least a week before the day of election. A certain party was doing 15K for showing your PVC alone, while the other party was doing 10K for showing your PVC alone. So before the day of election, people had already received like 25K. If you were smart enough to show your PVC to the agents of the two parties, that's not a free nor fair electoral practice in my opinion. And for the governor, he has won. He didn't win simply because of the fact that people like his dancing steps. He won for two reasons. Number one is that if you look at him on the performance index, in my opinion, he has done beyond what most other governors of the state did when they were in office. That's one of the reasons he won. The second major reason he won, in my opinion, was because of the fact that he was almost totally intimidated. And people of my state do not like intimidation whatsoever. If you intimidate someone, you are, especially if you appear to be bigger than that person and you are intimidating the person you are bigger than, you are telling the people to actually vote for that person, to support that person. That is our psyche, that is how we think. And the party at the top did everything they could to intimidate Demola Adeleke. Unknowingly for them, that was what drew a lot of people to him, that no matter what happens, you are going to stay with this guy. A lot of people are talking about 2026. I mean, 2026 election in Osun State is an exact repeat of the 2014 election in Osun State, when Arabia wanted to go for a second term. Then the PDP was the party at the center, and APC was the party in Osun State then. It was the same thing. It was intimidation, arrest here and there, done by the PDP then against people of members of the APC in Osun State. And the people of Osun State said that, oh, no matter what happens, we are going to stand with this guy because he's been unfairly treated here. So it's not a new thing that the people of Osun State are actually staking with a party that is the dominant party in the state against the party at the center. It happened in 2014, and now it has happened again. It's not to say that automatically, if your party is not at the center, but you are the ruling party in the state, that you are going to secure a second term. No. It goes beyond that. Number one is that you must have something to show to the people that, okay, look at my scorecard, I've done something tangible. That's number one. Number two is that the party at the center too must show that they are intimidating you, they are pushing you around and stuff like that. If those two things can happen at the same time, I can tell you free of charge that anybody who is governor of that state is going to be the governor of the state for a second time. You are going to be re-elected. That is it. So we saw it in 2014. Now we are saying in 2026. Should the scenario replay itself again, trust me, you are going to get the same answer.
All right. The story about the Osun, election. There are also statements on ground that the opposition party might be, going to the tribunal. If you have the opportunity of saying advising, what advice would you give to the opposition party right now?
Well, you can advise them based on logic, while they do whatever they want to do, based on what they have been assured behind the camera. Imo State 2019, Emeka Ihedioha of the PDP, in my opinion, won the election. Chris Uche of the Action Alliance came second. Ifeanyi Ararume of ABGA was number 3, and Opuzodema of the APC was number 4. I mean, looking at that, any sane person would have told Opuzodema not to go to court. If anybody was going to court, it would have been the Ehe guy, Okorocha's son-in-law, because it was just a couple of tens of thousands that differentiated AA and the PDP. But Opuzodema went to court, and INEC told us, the Supreme Court told us that there were some votes that were in the Beavers machine that INEC didn't capture. And, a guy who scored 88,000 at the polls was, catapulted to the front ahead of people who scored 250,000 votes. Nigeria judiciary, as far as I'm concerned right now, is not representing well. If it were to be based on logic and common sense, the APC has nothing whatsoever to take to court. But minding the way we have been doing our things in this country, you never can tell. You just never can tell. Anything can happen. And I should say that it was the APC that benefited from the judicial abracadabra that happened in Imo State. If they benefited then, how sure are we that they're not going to benefit again? But looking at what happened on the day of election in Osun State, there is nothing concrete, nothing tangible that the APC can take to court in Osun State.
Well, let's talk about the position of the president. The president is of the APC, right? And of course, there have been statements all over the place. We're thanking the president for allowing this, for allowing that. Did the president indeed, allow democracy to thrive based on his actions? And what action can you see? Is the president's role here, did he play the role of the father of the nation, or maybe partisan politics? What do you see here?
The president played an uncharitable role in the Osun State election. Members of a certain party who should listen and obey to the president as expected were doing and saying all sorts of terrible things in Osun State, such that a very high-ranking Nigerian, a senator, said that henceforth, once we catch members of the Accord Party, we are going to kill them at that particular place and time. The president never said anything to caution the guy.
That's the senator,
Fadamsi. Yes, who is incidentally is my senator. A lot of Accord Party members were arrested in Osun State. Some of them were kept in Oshogbo, some of them taken to Abuja. Not one member of the APC was arrested. The president didn't say anything. A lot of people were being killed almost on a daily basis, sometimes up to 4, up to 7 in a day, and the president never said a word. And you want me to rate someone like that high on the scale of democratic credentials? No, I'm not going to do that. Because he could have stopped everything immediately. Just an order to the IGP. IGP, if you see anybody misbehaving there, take the person out. That would have that would have punched the reset button in Osun State. But the president kept quiet. He never said anything like that. And for Demola Adeleke, you need to be very, very careful. In my opinion, the president showed everything he needed to show to make the governor of Osun State know that it was not on his side. Because he could have cautioned people who are troubling him, and in fact, not even troubling the state. I never did that. And yet, Demola is singing around the town like a canary bird that come 2027 is going to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He even said something that, in my opinion, is very, very foolish of him. He said, I'm going to support him because he's a Yoruba man. That's a very foolish statement. a very, very foolish statement. It shows the level of the Adelek's IQ. I don't rate him personally. I've always said it here that looking at one or two things about the guy, I'm not a fan of his. I wasn't, I'm still not. And with what he said on the day, I think it was the day after he was declared as governor, he said that he would support them. It's a democracy, you can support anybody. But if you are supporting someone based on religion and ethnicity, especially for someone holding such a very sensitive office, that's a betrayal of democracy itself. It is a disservice to patriotic Nigerians and even Nigeria itself. You don't do that. You don't do that. Someone holding such a very sensitive position should actually be advising against something like that. Don't support people based on familial ties or religious affinity, ethnic correlation or stuff like that. No, don't do that. Support them based on performance alone. He never said anything about the president's performance. Maybe there's nothing to say in that particular regard. Instead, he said, I am going to support him simply because he's a Yoruba man. That's unfortunate.
Finally, before we take a break, let's talk about the 2027 election. Vote buying, with all of the conversation and radio, all over social media, and I know that the same thing happened in Osun State.
50K per vote.
We still saw that. Can we say that it worked for them in Osun, maybe for a court party? If that's also on the ground that they, allegedly also bought vote here. And what's the future of this 2027 election? Poverty in the land is still almost the same, if not worse than it used to be. Can we be rest assured that this election will be without vote buying?
No, there is going to be vote buying. There will be vote buyers, there will be vote sellers. But I can tell you that looking at by what we just saw in Osun State, it's not decided. I've always said it here that democracy rests with the people. If the people want to elect someone, they are going to make sure that person is elected. It happened in Osun State. If anybody who wanted to trade his vote would have voted for the party that was doing 50K against the party that was doing 10, 15K. But people collected money from, for me, as far as I'm concerned, don't collect money from politicians to vote. Don't do that at all. Even if you like the person, if you hate the person, don't collect money. Money should not be a factor when deciding who to vote for. But on that particular day, people collected 50K and they voted for another party. Some didn't even collect money at all. What that means is that, yes, vote buying is going to happen, but if the turnout is high, and I should tell you that the turnout was very, very high in Osun. If you calculate all the number of votes that were, it was over 1 million. 1,005,800 votes. Even if you bring all the bullion vans in the country, the bullion vans are going to get exhausted. That's what happened in Osun State. If the people didn't come out en masse, money would have been a very major decider there. But when people came out, money got exhausted. In the morning, they were doing 50K. But along the line, they exhausted the money, and they just couldn't match the turnout at that particular point in time. So if there is a high turnout, trust me, money can be a major factor.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back right after the break, we're going to talk about Atiku Abubakar and the removal of fuel subsidy if he gets the opportunity to be the president of Nigeria. We'll look at that and more when we come back right after the break. Please stay with us.
Thinking of an all-in-one digital platform that fits your lifestyle and makes everyday payments simple, reliable, and fast?
Oh, wow. Yes, please.
Allow me introduce you to BillStation, your one-stop digital payment solution for individuals and businesses. Built to simplify payments and services for millions across Africa. With BillStation, you can buy cheap airtime and data, pay electricity bills, send money instantly, make online payments, and book flights and hotels. Enjoy our overseas airport pickup services, interstate bus ticket sales, and event tickets, all on BillStation. Fast, simple, reliable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Visit www.thebillstation.com. Download the BillStation app on the Apple App Store or Android Google Play and get welcome bonuses when you sign up. Enjoy fast customer support and a seamless user experience every time. Get in touch with us today.
Email thebillstation175@gmail.com or sales@thebillstation.com.
WhatsApp 091 6858 1914. BillStation. Your world, your money, one station.
Every Every child deserves a chance to thrive no matter their ability. This August, the Special Needs Awareness Summit comes to Ibadan with the theme Empowering Special Needs Children for an Independent Tomorrow. Join us Saturday, 29th August, 10 a.m. prompt at Pistos Hub, number 2, Olani Yonfagbemi Street, off Mobi Bus Stop, Ring Road, Ibadan. Hear from Dr. Tosin Babalola joining us from Manchester, Mrs. Mobolaji Idowu, founder of Kidley Space Ibadan, and Esther Emmanuel, coordinator for Bloom Right Learning Support. It's completely free, but registration is required, and there is more. Free professional assessment bookings available on the day, but slots are limited. Visit our Instagram page at snaz_365 for the booking link, or call 0705 426 4991 now. The Special Needs Awareness Summit 2026, proudly brought to you in partnership with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Awareness, inclusion, acceptance.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafin Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Welcome back to the program. Thank you once again for joining us on the show. Perspectives Unlimited is live on 89.3 FM. Tinubu Adeleke in closed door meeting at Aso Villa in Abuja. All right, before we get to the Atiku Abubakar story, we have a story here. State gets special 435 billion naira for security infrastructure. State governments are receiving billions of naira through a relatively new Federation Account Committee intervention for infrastructure and security, with available half-year budget implementation report showing that at least 435 billion naira in revenue was recorded under the funding window by 29 states between January and June 2026. The intervention, classified in state financial records as state infrastructure and security under the national chart of account code 1110101313, is distinct from the FEC conventional statutory allocation, but distributed as regular FAC revenue. No amount was disbursed for the purpose in the corresponding year of 2025. The data also obtained from the fiscal performance of each state, utilizing data from the first quarter and second quarter budget performance report from January to June 2026 obtained on the budget website serve as a repository of the government's budget and was analyzed by correspondent on Thursday. Now, the intervention comes as Nigeria battle worsening insecurity and a huge infrastructure deficit and banditry kidnapping, attacks on schools, community, poor roads, and other infrastructure gap, increasing pressure on the state government. What we have here says that state government are receiving billions of naira through a relatively new Federation Account Committee intervention for infrastructure and security. 435 billion naira in revenue. And of course, most recently, remember what happened in Oyo State. And just a few days, I think before the release or after, another abduction somewhere.
It's a daily affair.
It's a daily affair in Nigeria. Only for us to get this money in that states get a special 435 billion naira for security infrastructure. Let's bring it back home. Right. Can we say that the new fighter jets acquired by the Oyo State government was purchased from this money? Or the question is, what are the governors using these monies for? I remember at some point where the president said that we need to ask our governors questions. Is this what the president is referring to?
Thank you very much. I am no fan of the governor of Oyo State, but if I'm not mistaken, this can't be a result. I mean, the two aircraft can be a result of this, because going by what you just read now, this didn't happen last year. It only started this year in 2026. And if I'm not mistaken, the governor of Oyo State paid for the aircraft at least July 2025 or thereabout. That was last year, over a year ago, well over a year ago. So it can be. Let me take another route. I have spoken to one or two of Mr. President's handlers one-on-one before, and I was like, what exactly did Bola Ahmed Tinubu do while he was governor of Lagos State? And they would tell you, oh, he built men. He built men. Till this very present, I don't understand what that statement means. And it didn't come from one person. It didn't come, in fact, maybe four of them. And they kept saying, he built men, he built men, he built men. You don't build lackeys with government funds. You build infrastructure. You build what's it called? Institutions, and you build the purchasing power of the people. That is how you govern a state effectively. Be it a country, that's how you do. But here, the president is directly taking money that belongs to us from us in the name of fuel subsidy removal, electricity removal, tax increase, and all of that. And you are placing the money in the hands of governors. The president knows too well that the governors are not doing anything sensible with the money, and yet he keeps giving them the money. That, number one, shows that he's a very bad and poor leader, because if you are performance-based oriented, you wouldn't be doing that anymore. You have given them the money, and every day in, every day out, you keep saying, go and meet your governors, ask them where the money is. The president is saying that simply because he himself cannot see where the money is going, and yet he keeps giving them money. You should now ask, is the president making a mistake? He's not making a mistake. He is intentionally giving them the money so that they can continue to be his puppets. You are denying Nigerians of decent living. People can barely feed in this country right now. There is no security, there is no infrastructure. Healthcare is nowhere to be found. Education is in a state of comatose. Agriculture is dead. And yet, all what you keep saying is that ask your governors, ask your governors. And I rate myself to be highly informed about what's happening in this country. And even me myself, I was not aware of what you just read out now.
Yeah.
How many of such do we have? And not one of them is achieving the result. Yet the president appears to be, incorrigible. He's just going without looking back. Like, I just must keep pumping money. No, it's not just the state governors. The federal government is getting a share they never thought they could get in the last 3, 4, 5 years. The president has way more money to play with than ever before. The governors the same, but the president is not talking about himself. Rather, he's talking about governors. I mean, that's the.
I mean, it's easy for the president to look into what happens at the state, but is that so easy for the state level to look into what's happening at the federal level?
As Nigerians, we know what's happening at the state level, we know what's happening at the federal level, and I can tell you that 2 of them are failing.
Unfortunately, we're not aware of this. We're just getting to know
about this particular money arrangement, we were not aware of it. But if you look at the governance structure across the states and at the federal level, I mean, anybody who is fair-minded will say that all of them are failing effectively. They are doing very, very well in the area of failure. President, governors. You need to change your tact. You need to, if you come up with a policy, as even in our individual lives, individual businesses and stuff like that, you do appraisal. Is it working? After a while, you do appraisal. I mean, is this thing working? This thing that I'm embarking on isn't working. If the president were to be someone who calculates very, very well, he should have known not more than 3 months after subsidy removal that it was not the way to go. That is, if he really cares about Nigerians and if he's a smart person like he rates himself. I don't rate him as a smart person because looking at how the country has become on his watch, I mean, he clearly is not. First subsidy was removed and the country went over the cliff into the ditch. You are not stopping there. You are now adding electricity subsidy removal. He has done that halfway. He said come January, he is going to remove electricity subsidy totally. I mean, that clearly shows that he is interested in taking anything that Nigerians can see as some sort of support from the government and putting it in public offices and public accounts initially, which will eventually end up in private. Because if you keep saying, ask your governors, he himself is saying that he cannot see where the money is. That is why he's saying, asking your governors. And that means, in my opinion, private accounts. That is not how to run a state. That is not how to run a country.
0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4, 893 and 0911-333-893. Again, 0916-893-1000 and 0915-333-893 893 and 0911-333-893. Those are the studio lines. Let's talk about the former Vice President presidency OPS kick against Atiku's petrol subsidy push. The ADC Congress presidential candidate in the next election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, on Thursday came under attacks over his plan to restore petrol subsidy if he wins the election. While the presidency and the organized private sector faulted the proposed policy reversal, the Nigeria Labour Congress was divided over Atiku's plan to restore the petrol subsidy, which President Bola Tinubu removed during his inaugural address in May 2023. Meanwhile, in the run-up of the election, Atiku, then the People's Democratic Party candidate, had pledged to remove petrol subsidy within 100 days in office if he won the election. And under his latest proposal in his Atiku Economic Recovery Plan, the ex-vice president said his government would provide qualified Nigerian refineries with crude oil at the preferential prices, but only under strict conditions designed to ensure that the benefit reaches the consumers. He noted that the new petroleum subsidy model would shift government support from imported fuel to locally refined product. All right, in a statement signed by his Special Assistant on Public Communication on Thursday, Atiku called on the detailed explanation of the nearly 2 trillion in the energy security expenses recorded by the NNPCL in 2023 and 2024. All right, but on Wednesday, the Minister of Finance, Taiwo Idili, and all of that. But let's remember here that Atiku Abubakar is now saying something different, different from what he said when he was, a member of the PDP and all of that. That he will be removing fuel subsidy if he wins the 2027 election. I would like us to look at it from what had changed and why is the APC handling this matter the way it is. The president had responded. He responded in his conversation with Ademola Adeleke yesterday when he was charging him to embrace everyone. Sunday Diary had said something.
Bayo Ononuga, Felix Moka, Nyesom Wike.
And, I'm just thinking, why not let Atiku Abubakar be? If Nigerians think that is the way to go, maybe that's what Nigerians should decide on.
Thank you very much. In the build-up to the 2023 election, almost everybody was saying that, fuel subsidy. Politicians know exactly how to make Nigerians question their existence. Like, am I even human at all? They are very, very good at that. Something is not going to favor Nigerians, and they will keep telling you, that's the best thing for you. And for reasons I cannot understand, some Nigerians will buy that idea. I spoke out clearly against fuel subsidy removal in 2023. I said it was going to cripple the economy of the country, and it has happened. Atiku said that upon election, or upon his inauguration as president in 2023, if he had won the election then, that he would have removed fuel subsidy within 100 days, meaning 3 months, 10 days. In my opinion, that suggests to me that he would have done some background work, like what are the palliative measures going to be if we remove it? How exactly is this act going to, affect the people? How do we make sure that it doesn't affect them? That was, in my opinion, was in his head in 2023. Fast forward to 2026. Well, I should say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu didn't even think about anything before he removed it. He removed it before he got to the office. He removed it right at the inauguration venue. That's totally against common sense, in my opinion. You don't do things like that. Especially something that's significant. You don't do it. Like I said, it doesn't strike me as a smart person. Now that it has happened, there is no gain in saying that it has worsened the economy of Nigeria and Nigerians. Things are totally down and out right now in Nigeria, and anybody with a fair mind would understand that we need to, as fast as we can, get out of this ditch. That is, if at all we care about this country. And in my opinion, that is why Atiku is saying that, okay, we have done it, and we have seen that it is not working, so let's get out of it. I am particularly excited at what Atiku said, because that's exactly what I have been saying in the studio. I have said it countless times in the studio that I do not support a situation where you would ask people to go bring money and just come to Nigeria with crude, with refined petrol, and we begin to pay you money on top of that. That's most likely going to be abused. Instead, he said that he's going to give crude to refiners in Nigeria. He didn't want to use the word subsidy. He said at a preferential rate, meaning at a rate lower than the available rate at that particular point in time. That makes a lot of sense to me, because that's what I have been saying. Nigeria has crude, and Nigerians must benefit from the fact that Nigeria has crude.
That we have crude. Let's take this call. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hello. Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Salami. Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. We can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear us, sir?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Morning.
Yes,
Good morning,
sir.
Good morning.
Hello, Mr. Salami. We can hear you. Oh my! Please do call us back.
Like I was saying, Nigerians must benefit from the fact that Nigeria has crude. In Saudi Arabia, in Angola, in UAE, Libya. In fact, like they say in Nigeria, marina water, fuel water in those places. Okay.
Let's take this. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning. If we can hear us, we can hear you. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. We can hear you. Hello.
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 Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, ITVY.
All right, good morning.
Thank you for Wapaka.
Good morning, Gwenga Mario. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I want to be a bit different from what Mr. Olali Concern is saying concerning not allowing holding on to our government or our governors from giving us the shares of dividend of democracy.
Mm.
And the point is this, to my own opinion,
All
Mr.
right.
President has done the needful. Nigeria have access to huge money now, so that state governors are receiving times 4 of what they are giving in the time past. Now, we appointed those governors. They came to us for during election, and we appointed them to work, and they have their manifestos of what they are going to do after winning the election. Now, they won the election, and now you have access to money. But you failed in your own, the governors now failed in their own part to let the dividend of democracy to get to the next and tenure of their various states. Now, to that effect, to my own opinion, I don't think we have to blame the president. The president has done the needful, and our governors needed to be held responsible for not giving us the dividend of the democracy. Now, one thing that is causing chaos in this moment is that the immunity those governors are having is what is giving them an edge. Assuming governors are not having immunity, why they are governors and still governing their various states, EFCC or any other anti-graft agency would have gone to pick them, to question them, why they are not doing the needful. So, to my own point of view, I think Mr. President is not to be blamed, and the governors needed to be held responsible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Benga Mary,
but let me ask Mr. Benga Mary a question. He's a father, he has kids, he pays his maid to make sure that the kids are doing well and the kids are not doing well. Will he keep paying the maid?
Let's take this. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, my name is George. I'm calling you from Olaguero.
Good morning, sir.
Anybody that says that we should not blame the president is not addressing the issue properly. Who is the leader of this country? Who is the president? Who is the head of state? Who is the commander-in-chief of everything that concerns Nigeria? Is the president. You are giving money to people and they are not using it. You are not asking them. You are not asking the people to go and have them. It's wrong. We have right really to ask the governors. Do we have evidence of what is given to them? The only thing we know is that some of the governors are using the money to do what the president himself is doing up there, building roads and so on. So it's the president that has to address it. He has the what do I call it now? The instrument to be able to check the governors. Let him reveal to us those who have collected money and what they are using the money to do. The country is not moving. Everything is in his hand. People are suffering. People are hungry. And you are telling us you are releasing money to them. You are releasing money to them. Is it only the governors that is giving money to? If he did not fault somebody, would we have heard that he is a fake agency? And there are more like that. All of them are not telling us the truth. There's enough money in this country to make everybody to be happy. And yet, people are perishing in penury. The president should please stand up and do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
God
much.
bless Mr. George.
Mr. George.
He said something which is very, very instructive to me. The president has been asking us to ask our governors, as he has the governors himself.
So that means all of this should start from the president himself.
Yes.
Hello?
Good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, Mr. Salami. Thank you.
West Radio, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear us? Hello, Mr. Salami. Oh, that's your network.
So like I was saying, I stand for something that will in fact crash the price of petrol. And if Atiku is saying something in that direction, I am listening to him 100%. 100%. What we have right now is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Not at all.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear us now? Yes, we can.
Yes, I can.
All right, absolutely. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Alan. I'm calling from Austin. Good morning, Mr. Alan concerning.
Morning, sir.
Man. All right, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
You see, if Atiku is promising us to have a review or an overhaul of of the reform policy in the as regards the first subsidy removal, I think Nigerians shouldn't go kind of call for his head. the present first removal policy of the present administration, how well has Nigeria fared under this policy? Here's a policy that has impoverished everybody in this, at least a large percentage of the country suffering. And I mean, for me, I think what we need at this time is that if Mr. President is hell bent on go ahead with something busy rationalizing, kind of cooking up figures that the first subsidy removal has saved Nigeria, has generated for Nigeria, money going to the pockets of the state governors. And yeah, Mr. President is asking us to ask our governors, how many people are even asking Mr. President questions on how our first subsidy something has been utilized so far. The other day, Tawo came on air to tell us that the only avenue they have used the first gain for subsidy removal has been the payment of salary of civil servants. That means outside civil servants in Nigeria, no one else matters. Come on, it's not fair. So we need a review, a total overhaul of the first subsidy removal in this country. If President Tinubu cannot do it, whoever wants to do it or can do it should please come on board. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salami.
Apparently, the government wasn't paying salary before Tinubu became president. Have you known so?
I mean, the president also said yesterday when he spoke with Adeleke about pension salaries.
Let me
not
tell you
being
something.
paid
As we speak
and
right
all of
now,
that and all
I
of
know
that.
I know a state government that is paying 15,000 naira to teachers.
15,000. Please mention their name. Kebbi State.
Yes.
1,500.
Our local government in Kebbi State, they pay them 15,000 naira per salary.
Per salary.
Yes.
Even with the increase of the minimum wage.
I've been saying it. How many of take home pay, take home. How many of them collect 70K? I can't find one that collects 70K. Do all the deductions, taxes, everything. It goes back to 40. The NLC screamed when they did in Kwara and Adamawa. They said they would be paying over 70K, but eventually they were getting something less than 50K, around 43 or so. And I can tell you that the local government in Kwara, Kebbi State, that pays people 15K. So the president is not getting it right. You are giving them money, you are allocating money to yourself, to the governors, and nobody is saying the effect of the money. Take the money to where it will be felt. That is what I'm talking about.
All right, we have to go. Time will not permit us to, spend more time on the show. But I'd like us to talk about this lady who called her. Good morning, Tony.
I don't believe in that nonsense, truly. Why? Waiting happen. Someone that can father will now call me later. Are you okay? I know exactly how I do my thing. I don't disrespect people. I respect them. Even some people that can effortlessly father, I treat them with respect.
Let me play the devil's advocate here.
Okay.
There are professions.
I'll play the God's advocate.
There are professions where it's entirely acceptable.
Bros,
and I know that the banking industry also allows that. My job allows that.
Tony
right?
Elumelu is a big banker in the country, and he said, "Don't bring that into me."
Don't bring that into
me. As for what's it called, your industry. This thing started in maybe the 80s or 90s. In the 70s, you would see respect being displayed.
Even in broadcasting. I may choose to call you by name off, on the mic, but do I call you your name off the mic?
Even on the mic, in the 80s, in the 70s, it wasn't like this. It was a Kabosa, not welcome Jide. If you say welcome Lekon from a 20-year-old boy,
Well, the bottom line here, I said to someone yesterday, we're still Africans. Let's be Africans. Let's the Africanness in us. Let it speak everywhere.
We Africans.
Good morning, sir. Would have been fine. Hello, can I ask a question? That would have been fine rather than that. But thank you so much, Olale Kostani, for joining me. I'll put the mister off the mic. It's indeed a pleasure. Lizette is going to take the mic. When the sport lady is called, I just wonder what the show would look like. But you're going to accept Lizette as it is this morning. Lizette Femiolade will come in with AM Sports. Thank you so much, Ayo State. God bless you. Good morning.
West Radio 89.3 FM West Radio 89.3 FM Aláàfin Avenue ní Ìbàdàn ló wà. Ìyẹn l'Olúyọ̀lé estate wa. Ìyẹn ní Ìbàdàn nílé Olúyọ̀lé wa.
of listening to the same old content? Tune in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, the only radio other radio stations listen to.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the